Scenes from the Spectrum, episode 23, Fire Doc Rivers edition. Let's get into it.
Here's Ilyasova. Here's McConnell. Can he get it off? Yeah! And the Sixers win it! 7 seconds to play. Iverson against Gill. The crowd on its feet. Allen for the win. Yes!
Happy Friday to Sixers fans all across the world.
Yeah.
There is better things in life than basketball. And we are learning
a
that.
lot of better things.
We are learning that very quickly, as we have been the last couple of years as Sixer fans. But one thing, it is Red October. It could be Red November in a couple of days. Soon.
World Series starts when you're watching this. It'll start tonight.
Yeah, it'll start tonight. What's the weather looking like in Philly tomorrow? Well, today, because we're not recording this on Friday, of course.
I think it's going to be a bit cloudy, a bit chilly, 58 degrees, but
Yeah, it could be worse.
It's a nice day.
Could be worse. Yeah, I had a beautiful 75-degree day and sunny with about 3 mile an hour wind. Perfect day for me.
Carolina.
You guys can enjoy your cloud and chills. But yeah, there is Red October. What are you doing for the World Series? You got any plans? Special occasions?
Go crazy and watch the game. That's pretty much it.
Producer Tony, first of all, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to
Tony.
Producer Tony.
Thank you.
It's October 27th right now, which is
he's turning 30 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Someone else said that to me earlier today. Like, what? Why is it 30?
I only said that because I made that joke a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, bro. How old is Ben Simmons?
28, 27?
5?
25.
Bro, how do we not know this?
6?
He's
'Cause I
26.
don't care about
He's 26.
Tony, of all people, should know
27.
this.
Oh my gosh.
Happy 27th birthday,
You're so
Tony.
nasty.
Yep, Ben
Thank you.
Simmons.
We
Happy
appreciate
birthday, Ben
you.
Simmons.
Everything you do. Yeah, but you can tell how much my mind is on the Sixers right now because I literally do not care. It's tough. It's tough at this point.
Yeah.
1-4 after what we thought would be 4-1, maybe. I feel like the Raptors, very beatable team. Of course, the Spurs were trying to give us a win after they put 11 men in their rotation in the first quarter.
The Bucks was a beatable game.
Yeah, they played they play terrible, and they won. But yeah, we got all that to talk about.
We got all of it.
And I'm going to ask the birthday boy to hit that headline music because this is the second episode in a row where we have had depressed headlines.
Yeah.
Now,
Last week it was season is over.
This week,
Fire Doc Rivers.
it is Fire Doc Rivers. Sixers dropped to 1-4 with a loss to the Raptors. Is Doc Rivers on the hot seat? Some believe so. We'll get into that. The Sixers are in Toronto today for a rematch. Absolutely nobody will be watching that. And you also have our League Pass top 5 teams we think have been the most fun to watch at the very end. Please don't skip ahead to that right now and just watch the rest of us talk about the Sixers and how bad they've been. But Justin, overall thoughts, I think it's been the Toronto game and then the Pacers win and the Spurs loss since we last talked. Over the course of those 3 games, mixed emotions, bitter taste. What are we feeling like?
It's definitely very disappointing. I mean, the defense has just been brutal defense, especially the effort. I mean, when you're looking at the transition defense, we are, I believe, one of the worst teams in the league in transition defense. And there's not much coaching that can be done there, except you just got to give effort. Transition defense is 99% effort. And it's frustrating when this team just looks like it does not care.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about Doc Rivers on this podcast, the coach of the team. And there's also been plenty of reports about Doc Rivers and how light his practices are during the season. Mm-hmm. And there's a big football saying, and this pretty much goes for all sports, but it's a big football saying is that, you play with the personality of your coach. And I believe the Sixers are playing with the personality of their coach. It's a lot of whining. It's a lot of not much effort, just going through the motions. getting to the game, and then you figure out a game plan as it goes on. You're not prepared. You're not willing to adjust. That's Doc Rivers, and that's been a direct correlation to the team. It's very frustrating to watch. First of all, let's talk about this Spurs game. Poor, very poor. There's really not much you can say. It was just bad. Like,
I mean,
you let a hot Spurs team, like, you got to give them credit. They shot the lights out the ball.
Yeah.
But again, you lost to Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Trey Jones, guys that have no business beating James Harden and Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that Spurs team, they're young. They're really not playing for anything except tanking for Victor. But
tank for
there was a few things that I saw about that team. I mean, obviously Popovich teams, they're always somewhat good, and you saw that when they played against us. I mean, their passing just blew my mind. The way they moved the ball around and found the open guy every time, because we were too lazy to with our rotations and communication and all that. There was a bunch of times where guys were falling asleep, and there was a cut to the basket and an open layup, a lot of open shots for the Spurs, and you can't have that when you're trying to win a championship. Everybody says, a lot of people say defense wins championships, and that is not how we're playing.
Yeah. Coming into the season, we knew the defensive backcourt would be bad.
Yeah.
There was no surprise about it. But you're talking about a team that, with the defensive backcourt of someone like James Harden and Tyrese Maxey, not great. We thought Shake Milton would play a lot more than he has. Look, we thought Shake Milton would be an instrumental piece coming off the bench. He's been literally the least you could possibly be coming off the bench. We knew his defense was going to be bad. We were okay with it because we knew Joel Embiid was going to be great. We knew Tobias Harris and PJ Tucker, even though they're above average, they're nothing special, but you could say something about their defense and how much it could be improved. And with the system you're running, it could be helpful to a team with the guys with the length of someone like Tucker and Harris. And of course, Embiid, Defensive Player of the Year, Melton coming off the bench. You have Matisse Thybulle when you need to. There's guys on this team that can play real defense, but the effort's there. Defense is all about effort. Ben Simmons did not become a Defensive Player of the Year candidate until he gave effort defensively. And he realized that, his offense wasn't doing much, and you got to give him credit. His defense improved from his rookie year because he gave effort. That's one thing you got to say about Ben Simmons. And I'm going to say that because I've seen it happen firsthand. When somebody gives effort, their defense is really good. Danny Green gave effort when he got beaten. He was okay, keeping the man in front of him. But once he got beaten, he really gave effort. You saw a lot of, back picks from Danny Green, contesting shots when he had no business being in the vicinity of the area. Matisse Thybulle, when he actually gives effort, Matisse Thybulle, and it is counterintuitive because he's overzealous at times. But we have guys that have given effort. We know what happens on defense when you give effort, and they're choosing not to do it. And it really starts with Joel Embiid. I think he's the defensive anchor. He's calling out everything he sees as the center on a team, on an NBA team. Guess what you do? You're the communicator. You're the goalkeeper. For people that watch soccer, the goalkeeper's always talking. That's got to be Joel Embiid. And I just don't see the communication. I don't see the effort. I don't see the scheme. I don't see the camaraderie defensively as a unit right now.
Yeah. With what you're saying about Joel Embiid, I mean, he's a guy that can see a lot of the court, especially with playing near the paint on the defensive end. He should be screaming out, who's got this guy, what's going on? And there's been so many times where Embiid has fallen asleep defensively, especially last night. Scotty Barnes got so many open layups, and so many other players got free layups and points because Joel Embiid was falling asleep and just getting flat out beat. And that cannot happen with your defensive anchor. I mean, before the season started on media day, he said, I want to be the best defensive team in the league. And you have absolutely done the opposite. And you're showing nothing. It's so hard to watch.
Yeah. And when we had podcasts in the preseason and coming up to the season, I said that they'll be around top 7 in the league defensively. Nowhere close. They're playing like 27th right now. And it's really hard to watch. It's frustrating. We can talk about the offense all day and how Embiid's been poor at times, and Harden had that one bad shooting night, and Maxey's been on and off, and Tucker it's a question of whether he'll hit his shots. That doesn't matter. It literally does not matter one bit at the moment because of how bad the defense is. And Embiid, there's so many times where he gives up on plays. And seriously, the amount of times he gave up on a play to Scotty Barnes, who hasn't, who's making his regular season debut. That might have been his first or second game of the season. And he doesn't challenge him at all. He doesn't ask any questions. It's so frustrating from a fan because of the way Embiid talked, because of the way that he was speaking about his defense and about how he thought that this team was going to be the best defensive team. We don't see it. It's not even close.
It'd be a whole different story if you were doing everything that you can to be the best defensive team, but you're not even trying. Especially with Joel Embiid, when I go back to transition defense, it's horrible. Stop complaining about not getting a foul call. Run back on defense. There's been so many times where you're going to the basket and maybe you got fouled, maybe you didn't, and you're just looking at the ref complaining. Harden does it too. Stop complaining. Run back when you don't hear a whistle, or go for the offensive rebound. But just the effort is not there, and we're getting killed in every aspect on defense.
We are allowing the opposing team's offense to have good shooting nights. We're inviting them to have good shooting nights because they're going to take high percentage shots that have light contests. And that's why you see so many guys get hot, get confident, feel like they can make every shot they take. Devin Vassell did that to us against the Spurs. He did it to us. Pascal Siakam thought that he could make every shot he took because of the way it's just they knew that when they get good looks, the shot contest just won't be there at times. And yeah, it is at sometimes, but majority it's not. And it's a very, very big problem. And I think it starts with the coaching. I think that you can blame players because they deserve it. I also think you got to blame Doc. And I think that they need a spark. And if it's not going to come from the team, it's got to come from a coaching staff member. And I don't know if they have it in them to turn this around at the moment and just say, tomorrow or today, we're going to be a great defensive team. I have no faith in the Raptors game. They're going to show more defense than they did last game. Nobody likes to play in Toronto. It's a fact.
Yeah.
They looked like they didn't want to be there. And it was hard to watch. It was very hard to watch. Pascal Siakam, he out the gate, hit 3 threes in a row. Are we serious right now? He almost had a triple-double. He was getting everything he wanted. Gary Trent Jr. was 0 for 4 from 3 in the Raptors game to 0 for 4 in the first half. And he ends with 4 made. In a game where, at halftime, we were thought, oh, man, this is lucky to be, 10 points.
I tweeted that out. How is this a 10-point game right now?
We got to tighten up. So a guy that hadn't made a 3 all night, we're like, man, it's only 10 points. We got to take advantage of this. We got to lock in perimeter wise in order to win this game. And you let Gary Trent Jr. just drain 4 threes on you. It makes no sense. I'm fed up. It's terrible. And it's, I don't want to put all the blame on Doc because it's not all Doc's
It's
fault.
not. And you can't, it's hard to teach effort. That's something that you just come with. But there comes a point when something's not working, change it. Change the lineup. Why are you playing Montrezl Harrell against the Raptors when Paul Reed is such a better defender? You're struggling defensively. Play the better defenders. I didn't see Matisse Thybulle in the game at all. As much as he does nothing offensively, give him a shot.
He's played 5 minutes all season.
You're getting destroyed defensively. Give him a shot. Have him base guard Pascal Siakam. Anybody to slow him down. But you didn't see that last night. And I tweeted out, where are the coaching adjustments? Because they were zero. They were zero defensively.
And you got to give the team credit offensively. We never said die. We were always down. We were never out. But we couldn't get the stops. If we could have got stops, we might have walked away with a win.
Yeah.
Because we were consistently down 7 to 15 points. They had the margin on us, but we never went down by 20 or 25. But we were always staying, just below the margin we needed to. We never got it to like a 5-point game. or a 3-point game, or where we were really like, all right, we're back in this thing. We never had that feel. We were just lingering, but we never were back into it. And effort, that's the thing. There was no will to win.
Yeah. As much as it was on the players, there's a big blame. Not as big as the players.
Yeah.
I feel like the players have like 75% of the blame here, but coaching. It all starts with coaching. Obviously, not effort and all that, but play the right guys, make the right adjustments. I feel like since Doc Rivers has been here, you don't really see in-game adjustments, and that's what separates good from great coaches is the ability to make your players one make your players better, and two, make the adjustments you need to win the game.
Yeah, and I think we've come into this season unprepared. Our good defenders are not defending. DeAnthony Melton has actually made great strides defensively. He came into the season first couple games. He was putrid defensively. He was flat out awful for a guy that we thought was going to be crazy good defensively, because he has been in previous years. He's
like a Danny Green, but better,
but better, exactly. Yeah, and way more athletic ability.
Yeah.
So it's faster and lateral quickness. He had all the tools to be a great defender, an elite defender, and he just hadn't shown it. And he's gotten better, but he's still not at the elite level.
See,
Joel Embiid the same way. Joel Embiid the same way. He's been lackluster. We have not come in prepared defensively to win games.
Yeah, I don't think the new guys should take too much credit. I mean, DeAnthony Melton, he's been starting to play better. Last night, offensively, he's kind of been struggling, but last night he shot 2 from 4 from 3. I think he was 5 for 7 overall, but he had a solid night offensively, and I would say even defensively he had a solid night.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's starting to play better. Like, Joel Embiid is starting to play better than the first couple of games. Like, the first couple of games were so comically bad. It was, how is this a professional basketball team with 3 all-star players that we think could be all-star players? We've gotten past that, but we're still not ready to win. And it reflects the Pacers. The Pacers did everything in their power for us to win the game, and we did. The Spurs did it, and we lost. And the Spurs got hot. You got to give them credit.
I would say even the Bucks.
Yeah. Oh my God, the Bucks played terrible. Look, that game was the sloppiest NBA game I've seen in a very, very long time. And I watched a lot of OKC games last year, and that was a very, very sloppy game because it wasn't fun. There's sloppy games that are fun. They're fast paced. That game was just not fun. Nobody was scoring.
I was at the game and it wasn't fun.
What was it? Max, like 185 points scored.
Yeah. It was very low scoring.
It was very low scoring. You're like, oh, defensive game, man.
Our old
heads love it. It was terrible defense. Both teams couldn't make a shot for anything, and our backcourt was so bad. We lost a game that Drew Holiday was 2 of 15 shooting.
Yeah.
Okay, let me say that again. Our defensive backcourt is our worst liability, right? Well, with transition, but at this current time, we know how bad. How we're going to get cooked by guards, and that's okay because we're going to allow that to happen because we're going to have our other strengths overcome that. That hasn't happened this year. Mm-hmm. But Drew Holiday was 2 of 15 from the field, and we lost the game. That's here's Sixers. Here's your win. Look at this. 2 of 15 from a guard. That we should win every single game that a guard shoots 25% or less.
And Giannis didn't even, I think he only had like 20, 26, 27.
Yeah. I mean, he had like 37 the other night. He's turning it on now. The Bucks played so bad and won that game.
That
was one of the toughest losses for sure. The Celtics one, it was okay because Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown things. Drew Holiday wasn't Drew Holiday. Giannis wasn't Giannis. Grayson Allen, who basically wanted the game for them, and Wesley Matthews both didn't play to their standards. Drew Holiday was terrible. He was so bad. Brook Lopez, even though he made shots, was like 4 for 23. None of their guys shot well. None of them played good. And they won in a game against the Sixers where it was less than 100 points scored by either team that won. That Bucks game definitely raised a lot of eyebrows, raised some red flags. And that was the one where you like, all right, well, we got to lock in. And what do they do next, Justin? They lose the tanking Spurs.
Yeah. And then they get their first win of the season against the Pacers, which
hooray, the Pacers. Oh, you couldn't beat one tanking team, and so you get the other cupcake, and you finally win that one. Like, nobody should be excited about the Pacers win.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And after the Spurs game, PJ Tucker really got into the players' ear in the locker room. Like, teams aren't just going to hand you the win. I mean, they kind of did.
The Bucks did, the Spurs did, and the Pacers did, and we finally took care of business against Indiana. But they have been.
Like, we looked decent against the Pacers, but I wouldn't say we looked all that great. And then you go over to Toronto, and you just look flat out bad. Yeah. That's
a winnable game. That's a very, very winnable game.
You don't look like a championship contender. You are 1-4. The Spurs wish they could switch records with you. The Spurs, they wish they could switch records.
Yeah. It was very, very, very disheartening to say. So, it was you're not even mad, you're just like, who is this team? Like, there's no way that's the same team we thought was gonna be.
Like, season. I was mad after the Spurs game. I was very mad, but after last night, I'm just like, what?
It's like the soul's leaving your body.
Literally, I didn't have too much emotion. Like
your interest is just dying down.
Yeah. So my question to you, Graham, and I guess everybody that's watching, is Doc Rivers on the hot seat?
To me, he's on the hot seat. To me, I think he should be fired today. If he is not fired by the time this podcast drops, Daryl Morey, Elton Brand, the entire Sixers front office has done every Sixers fan wrong and dirty. That's me speaking. The front office isn't going to fire Doc Rivers now. I promise you, it just will not happen. The contract doesn't make sense.
If the contract was better and we were doing better with money, he would be gone.
Like, we literally gave him a Tim Hardaway Jr. type of contract from the Knicks like in 2017. Like, we gave him one of those, like a 5-year deal. What are you doing? That was terrible, by the way.
Like we would fire him if it wasn't for the business. But just because of business, literally just because of the business aspects, he's still here.
Yeah. And I think that's literally it.
That's it.
I think the players like him. I think the players.
He is a players coach.
The players will always like him. And it's going to take a lot for Doc Rivers to not be on the players' side. I think that's true.
It's crazy how much one championship can take you so far. It's crazy. But that championship was 15 years ago. Almost 15 years.
And I'm gonna say this. We're gonna speculate a bit. It's a podcast. I think we're like obligated to do that, right?
Yeah.
It would be a podcast without speculation. Thank you to this platform, internet. I'm gonna ask Tony to come on, and I'm gonna answer this question. How many losses or how many bad defeats for the Sixers in order for the players to become uneasy with Doc?
Tony, you want to go?
I mean, I kind of feel like they're already uneasy. I mean, just by the way that they're playing.
I don't think so. I don't think the players are like uneasy at Doc.
It just doesn't seem like they not like care, but like it just seems like they're going through the motions. You know, like I don't think they want to play for Doc right now.
I think we are way more mad and fed up with Doc than the players are, because I don't think that Joel Embiid is like, oh my gosh, Doc Rivers sucks. Like, Joel Embiid is going to be like, I'm playing like crap. I think they're going to look internally for now. I think if you start flirting with the 7 seed after 30 games, that's when it would happen. But it's going to take a while. It's not like a Girardi situation where it's very, very evident the players just don't want to play for a manager.
Yeah.
But this is like, I feel like they still want to play for Doc. They're just not executing.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I would say after about 20 or so games, and we're not top
above
6,
500.
We're basically, if we're a couple games under 500 and we're 20 games into the season, you should if you're Daryl Morey and the front office, you absolutely should be scared. This is absolutely putting a lot of blame on Doc Rivers, and he should absolutely 100% be on the hot seat.
Look, if we have 9 wins and 23, 24 games have passed and Doc Rivers is still the coach, The Sixers have done a disservice to every single person that's ever bought a ticket to a game, a parking pass, bought a jersey, socks, fat heads, flags, you name it. They've done a disservice to everybody that's put in money
I don't
to
even
the
want to know how much
organization.
I've spent.
It's ungodly amounts of money we've spent on the Sixers with tickets and parking pass. Like why do I have to pay $60, $70 just to park? And I mean,
Wait,
Oh,
whoa.
how much?
Where
are
do you
paying?
make 60?
That was in Atlanta. That was in Atlanta. My bad. My
Okay.
bad.
All
My
right,
bad.
all right.
But no,
'Cause
it's
the
like
parking
20.
here
It's
is-
like
gonna
22.
say, it's like
the parking
22.
here is-
Yeah,
Yeah.
22. I think I paid
is-
22 last time.
The parking in Philly's
The one in
either
Atlanta I went
from-
to was ridiculous, but that's the Hawks.
it was either
Anyways, I'm
from
talking about the
$20 to
jerseys,
$30.
the jerseys, any apparel that we bought from the store there to go into Wells Fargo. It's if we have 9 wins and it's 23 games gone past and we're that below 500 and he's not fired, there's a real problem. Right now, I can understand why you're not firing him. The contract, it's a little early. Contract doesn't make much sense to let go of right now. The team, they could turn around. They could be 15 games above 500 in March. That's a good possibility. But if they're not, and Doc Rivers still has a job, then there is a real problem.
Yeah, if this
And
team
I think
continues to struggle.
internally, that's when things start to stir up and get real messy with the Sixers.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't this supposed to be like? Well, obviously not like the first 2 games, but isn't this supposed to be the easier part of our schedule? Because isn't it like?
Absolutely. The second half
yeah.
of our
Yeah,
schedule.
the second half's crazy
is
after the
really-
All-Star break.
I
Did-
thought we were going to be like 13-4 to start the season.
I thought we were gonna.
There's technically still a chance.
I
There's no
thought-
chance, bro. We're
I
losing
thought-
to Toronto.
I thought we were gonna go into the All-Star break with 10 or less losses. And because I thought our schedule for the first half of the season was just that easy, and that is not the case.
Yeah,
A lot of red flags.
look,
A
I'll
lot of them.
I'll ask the two of you guys this: where Doc Rivers at on your totem pole of how mad you could possibly be at a basketball coach? Is he so far down as that if we get swept by Toronto, he can't go down anymore, or is there still levels to it where he's like in the pits of hell, but he's not in fire?
I think it's been building up ever since he's got here. I feel like it gets
Answer the
worse
question,
and worse.
Justin. Don't dance around.
I'm not.
Could he go lower than he is on your scale right now? Is that possible?
Absolutely?
Yeah.
He can go
Yes.
lower. I think
Yes.
that's true for all of us.
Yeah.
How low does it have to be? I told mine. I said mine 9 wins after just less than 25.
Yeah.
Is there something different? Are you sooner? Are you later?
I'm. No,
That's
I have to
probably
agree-
about
I have
where
to
I'd
agree
be
with that
at, too,
timeline.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're like 9 and 15, like come on, bro.
Yeah.
I think if we're like 4 or 5 games under 500, yeah. Like
Yeah, like in
Well, like-
January, mid-January.
We should never
I'd
be
say-
under 500.
well, yes, I agree.
that's the thing.
I'd say by Christmas, I think if we're not like at least improving to close to 500, like
See, I have very short patience. I don't have any patience. So I'm saying in a couple weeks, I'm gonna be pissed.
Weeks,
Couple weeks.
as in
give like a
Like-
range.
Give me like 3 weeks.
So by November 15th,
Give me by the end of November.
by Thanksgiving,
By Thanksgiving. If by Thanksgiving things aren't
season starts
Cleaned up.
Thanksgiving.
if things
In
aren't
my
cleaned
opinion.
up by Thanksgiving, there is, like Graham said, a very real problem.
even if things are cleaned up a little bit, and you're like, well, he shouldn't get fired now.
You'd
And
have to
it's
see
like-
improvement.
And it's like beginning of March, and you're still like 6 or 7 seed, and you feel like you should be 1, 2, 3, or 4. You got to fire him.
No,
I
I
feel
want to. I want to go into the beginning of March on top
By
of the world.
March, yeah, by March,
on
this
top of
should
the
be-
world.
Look, I tell you this,
the whole thing
100%
should be situated.
confidence.
The
I
Atlanta-
don't want to have any doubts.
The Atlanta Hawks on March 1st, 2021, fired Lloyd Pierce and got Nate McMillan to be their coach.
And they had a great.
And they
rest
went
of their
they
year.
went to the 4 seed, if I'm not mistaken. It was either
5.
4 or the 5.
It was a 5.
It was the 5, and they played the Knicks,
Oh, yeah,
and they
the
won that
Knicks were
series,
4.
and then they beat us, and then they go to the Eastern Conference Finals because they parted ways with their coach on March 1st. I think that if you're the Sixers and you're the 6, or if you're the 7, 8 seed, you're looking at a play-in. If you're in the play-in in March 1st, Doc Rivers has no business
He
being.
should have been
I
fine.
mean, he should have
Fine with
been
that.
gone.
Yeah.
But again, I think that's the last benchmark. If we're in the play-in and it's March 1st and Doc Rivers is still the head coach, I don't know if I could call myself, like, I don't know if I could literally watch games. I'm not gonna say I couldn't call myself a fan, but I don't know if I could like willingly get myself to watch games. Watching games would be a chore. It wouldn't be fun.
I have season tickets.
You would sell them, or you
Poor
can
thing.
go to
Poor thing.
Ticketmaster, sell their tickets, bro.
They might if things are going bad, they just might have to be sold. Might have to be.
Positivity. What could go right for the Sixers?
A lot of things.
I
Literally,
think defense effort would be the main things. I
pretty
would
much
say everybody
everything.
offensively clicking at the same time. We haven't seen that. There's been a Tyrese Maxey game. There's been a
See,
couple Harden games. There's been an
yeah,
Embiid game
there's-
that they
there's-
haven't had a game together.
There's too much. There's too much of singular performances, and this really came down to it. I think that there were 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter against the Raptors. There was one specific possession where Harden passes it to Maxey on top of the 3-point line. Joel Embiid is sitting on the wing. Harden goes to the wing. Maxey just dribbles, sits there. Oh, couple seconds left in the shot clock. Oh, here, Harden, take it. What?
It's comical.
Why?
It's
Why is
comical.
that an offense? That is not how you play basketball. That is
tell you, it's
absolutely
comical.
not how you play basketball.
Look, man, like there's this schematically, let's not even talk about effort. Let's talk about schemes. This might be the worst schemed team that I've seen. Like even the process had a scheme. Like they were fun. Like Tony Roten was running
was
the
him.
offense. Like, he was him. Like he was going to get his. We have James Harden one night. He's going to get 30. Joel Embiid might have 40 with 12 rebounds. Maxey might have 31.
He had 31.
Yeah, but like they're not getting it the same night. We're not seeing a Joel Embiid game where he gets 28, 14, and 5. James Harden on that very same night is not going to get 25, 11, and 8. And Tyrese Maxey on that same night isn't going to get 22, 4, and 3. They're not happening together. We're having great offensive performances, individual performances, but we're not having great offensive team performances. And that's where I think that it's only a matter of time until the offense has good team performances. Defense is a little bit further behind, but we're going to start winning some games because of our offense fortitude. And that's where it's so frustrating because it just hasn't happened yet. This should have happened on game 1, but we're going to be entering game 6, game 7, and game 8. And we don't know what's going to happen on that given night. It should be a given that Embiid's going to drop 25 plus, be a beast on the boards, and trying to contest every shot he possibly can. That should be a given, right? This should be a given that James Harden is going to flirt with a triple-double. Should be a given that Maxey is just going to give you scoring no matter who's guarding him. It just hasn't been that way offensively. And I think it will eventually, but it's taken so long. I can't say how frustrated I am as a Sixers fan. I think that goes for everybody.
Everybody's frustrated. Everybody, like, I haven't seen this kind of effort in ever. I think ever. It's not there right now. And another thing that comes with effort. I mean, you've seen like in the past, like if the team's not doing well, things are slow. There's been so many times where you just get that Tyrese Maxey burst of energy for everybody. And that I haven't seen that. I've been expecting it, but it really hasn't been there.
I think we saw
the first
it,
5 games.
We saw it against Toronto last game.
Like I'm saying, like we're no effort, all this.
Yeah,
Tyrese Maxey scores like 5-6 straight points, and then we're
and then we chill
over our opponents. Yeah.
But then we do that, and then we're just like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's nothing like they step on their neck and break it. There's just like Tyrese Maxey had 8 points in a row, 2 threes, and a reverse layup. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's how we play an offense right now. James Harden hit two step back threes. Good for him. That's our offense game plan right now. It's insane.
I just think Doc needs to play with the rotations more. You haven't been playing enough with it. You haven't been giving Matisse Thybulle much time. And I get it. He's he's horrible on the offensive end. I don't care. Give him a shot. Give him a shot.
Horrible. I don't know. I think we need to play in more minutes, but we also need to understand the risk involved. There's got to be a calculated risk.
Absolutely. People want the defense to be cleaned up. Oh, play Matisse, play your defensive guys. Well, you have to look at it, not just one side of the court, but both sides of the court. Because when you go on offense, what are you going to do? Because the defense is not going to care about him. They are going to leave him every single time to go play help defense. So you kind of look at it. It's like, all right, you play Matisse Thybulle and you get some better defense, but on the offensive end, you're 4-on-5.
Yeah,
so
everything in life is a calculated risk, and I think that we're miscalculating a bit of how bad his offense is because we need his defense. We do, even though it's not great at times, it's a little overrated, but he's still a presence. We don't have a defensive presence. Our defensive presence is playing like Brooke Lopez in 2013. So I think that that's something we need, and we need to calculate the risk. Is like we're going to have to give up some offense just a little bit for about 8 minutes. I don't know if we could do that right now, but we're eventually going to have to give up some offense for 8 minutes to let Matisse Thybulle at least guard somebody that's hot. Like if Devin Vassell has gotten 6 straight points, just sub Matisse in the game, face guard him for a couple of possessions, get him out of his rhythm. That's how we need to utilize Matisse. We just haven't done anything of that nature.
Yeah.
And it's very, very frustrating.
And going back to what I was talking about the lineups, I mean, I get he's the starter, but you're asking 37-year-old PJ Tucker to play over 30 minutes, and he's played over 30 minutes in 4 out of the 5 games. He only played 20 minutes against the Pacers, but you're asking a 37-year-old to play over 30 minutes.
Yeah, the minutes
I get he's a starter, but come on, you need to take his age into your head and use that to build better rotations. Give him a longer break so he's well rested and ready to play lockdown defense. I mean, come on.
Yeah, in my opinion, the minutes is a big issue that we're not really talking about because it's not going to affect us right now. But down the line it will. And that is something that I am very worried about.
Yeah, players absolutely can get fatigued by the end of the season. It's very real.
Before that, the way that we're playing, the way that we're playing right now, I think is before that.
Then you're asking James Harden to give you 35, 40 minutes a night. Like, come on.
It's tough. I just everything is a bit off, but everything could be fixed quick. I think this is more or less a quick fix. It's just effort.
It's just it's
effort and being on the right page.
It's just like your effort can change 70% of the game, I believe.
Correct.
70% of the game. It's if you want it, you got to work for it. If you're telling everybody, I want to win a championship so bad, I don't care about an MVP trophy. I don't care about all this. I want a championship trophy. Show me.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that. All I can do is just sit here and sigh.
Yeah, this has been one big sigh. About 40. It's been a 40-minute sigh.
Listen, and we can come back here in 2 months and just have the most energetic, happy podcast in the world because how things easily can be changed. But
and at the time, in that context of the team, if we're good in 2 months, we're going to be good. But in the context, I think that people may say we're overreacting or we're too down on the team. In the context of us being 1-4 right now, I don't believe that's the case at all.
I believe these aren't even overreactions. This is just factual information that we're giving out. We're a championship team. We're 1-4. It's just 100% completely unacceptable.
No doubt about it. I mean, I think that we have lost that championship contender tag for the foreseeable future. You can't start a season 1-4. I don't care how early it is. If you're a championship contender, you can't do that and expect your team to be a championship contender for months to come. You got to earn that back.
Like guys, the Utah Jazz are 4-1.
Exactly.
The Utah Jazz are 4-1, and you know why? Because they are probably at the top of the list for effort.
Yeah,
in the league.
they're playing for minutes. They're playing for roster spots. They're playing. Maybe if you play good on the Utah Jazz, you're too good, and you get traded into a great situation. Who doesn't want that? Who's a guy that's like a 6th, 7th man on the Utah Jazz, or even starting for them, that doesn't want to play their way into a great role on a championship team? That's what the Jazz are playing for.
Yeah,
the Sixers are at that right now. They're at
and
the level where
I think that
you got to give effort.
I think that got into their head too much.
I believe so.
It's
Lackadaisical.
it's really showing on the court. And please just fix it. That's all we're asking. Just show that you care, because when you don't care, I don't care.
Facts.
And it's way easier if I don't care.
That's very true. I think we need a good laugh.
Yeah,
I think we need a good laugh.
I think it's enough. It's enough for the negativity.
Yeah.
And it's time to be happy.
Our boy Tony is a huge fan of a certain basketball player.
We're
We've
lying now.
Nah, can we mute Tony so I can finish this real quick? Just, Tony, just don't speak.
All right.
He's a huge fan of Ben Simmons.
Yes.
He tweets about him. He I think he reposts his Instagram. I can't confirm that, but I just have that vibe that Tony might thought about it once, and so I'm going to count it right now. I think Tony might have thought about reposting and sharing a Ben Simmons Instagram post to his story. Is that fair to say?
And Tony, can you do me a favor, and can you just tell me the YouTube name of the video you made?
Yeah, well, you made a YouTube video about him.
What was the title of it?
Hold on, let me look.
No, come on, bro. Come on.
I think it was.
What's the title?
What's the title? Is underrated?
Tell me the title. Don't be ashamed. What is it?
I'm sorry.
I'm looking. Hold on, let me look.
I'm sorry, Tony. This just has to happen.
I mean, it really doesn't, but yeah. Okay.
Come on.
Ben Simmons has become underrated. 3 weeks
ago.
That
was 3 weeks ago.
Would like to show you a beautiful video clip of Ben Simmons playing his best basketball. Tony, would you play that clip?
Make you pay all night.
Oh wait, yeah.
Durant, give and go. Simmons.
Oh.
Well, play it one more time first.
Yeah, I'll run it back.
Run it back.
It's gonna make you pay all night. Durant.
Nice pass from KD. And
air ball on a layup.
Finger rolled. You rarely see that. I mean, I've seen it a few times when I'm playing 2K and it's a bug. But that happens in real life?
It's like in park when you lag and I don't know if they still have layup meters in 2K. I haven't played 2K in like 3 years.
Yes, they do.
It's like when you lag and you just like hold square down and your meter goes all the way back down and you just airball a finger roll because you're trying to dunk and it doesn't give you the dunk animation, and you hold it down for way too long. That's what it was like.
Listen, we shouldn't be putting Tony down on his birthday.
Yeah, I think we should.
But we have some more exciting stuff, Graham.
Oh, this is a very favorite thing about basketball being back in general, is that you get to watch basketball on a nightly basis.
Tony,
that's very fun to me.
For this.
Yeah,
let's get Tony out here. Do you want to explain what we're doing here?
Yeah, I think Tony, do you know what we're doing here? Do you have any clue of what's going on right now?
Is this the League Pass thing?
Yes. Well, I mean, this could be your top 5 Stream East. Don't judge. This is top 5 League Pass teams.
I'm Stream East right now.
You're Stream East right now, bro. I'm actually League Passing the Clippers and Thunder game. Thunder are gonna win against Tony's Clippers. That he's probably gonna have.
What's the score? What's the score?
They're playing a replay of Poku absolutely cooking the Clippers right now. Then also I have a screen here, and Dallas is up 123-116 over Brooklyn with 2 minutes left to go in overtime.
On my other screen, I just have a picture of Ben Simmons airballing, but
that's some world-class hater stuff. Anyways, we're doing our top 5 League Pass teams, the teams that we find the most fun to watch so far early on in the season,
Let's-
first 2 weeks.
Let's start out with the birthday boy.
Yeah,
Let's
what you
hear
got?
your-
5 to 1.
Wait,
5
are we
to
Am I
1.
doing all
we're starting with
5?
5? All right, let's hear your number
Are
5.
am I doing
Go
all 5?
5.
Or,
Go all 5.
All 5?
really didn't put them in order. But at number 5, I have the New York Knicks. Yes, obviously this is a Sixers podcast, but I like the game of basketball. I like a lot of players on the New York Knicks. Cam Reddish finally getting playing time. RJ Barrett, hopefully will break out this year. 4, he's not. I
You
know
better
he's not.
hope.
He's not. He's
You
so
better
bad.
hope real
I,
hard.
I've been pushing his agenda since Duke. I can't stop now. But
Big Duke guy. Or I mean I am. I mean,
you
I
are.
am.
Tony might be. He's a fan of every college team ever.
He's a
Not,
fan of every,
not Clemson.
Not Clemson or Penn
not
State.
Clemson or
He's a
Penn
fan of
State.
Apparently.
everything.
At 4, I have the Cavs. I kind of hopped on their bandwagon last year. Obviously, backcourt, D-Mitch, Garland, the front court.
Big Garland
Mobley, Mobley,
Dylan
Allen,
Windler.
Jared Allen.
Dylan Windler, yeah.
Isaac Okoro.
Isaac Okoro,
Dean
Joseph Hart.
Wade.
Dean Wade.
That's a
Dean
great
Wade.
one.
You know a lot about him, don't you, Justin?
Why would I know a lot about him?
You played 2K, remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love.
Everett Levert.
Got a
There's
lot
a
of good
bunch of
guys.
guys.
Chetty
Yeah.
Osman.
There you go. Got a bunch of guys on that
Osman.
team.
Did we say the other Mobley?
Yes.
We don't
You
care
know,
about
you
the
know
other
when
Mobley,
I
I'm
when I
not
went to
gonna
the
lie.
preseason game against the Cavs, I was so confused why Mobley just sucked. Well, I was like, I thought Mobley was good. What happened? It was his brother. It was
Sixers
his
legend.
brother.
Sixers legend Raul Neto.
Ooh.
I forgot he was on the
Oh,
Cavs.
see, you're watching
That's
Raul Neto
so
every night.
He
nasty.
came into the game and I said, "Wow, I hate this guy."
I can't remember any positive
anyways,
thing Raul Neto's done.
anyways, big Cavs fans over here.
3, I've got the Orlando Magic. They're doing pretty well.
Good one.
Boncaro 5+ 20-point games at this point, I think 5. He's looking really
garbage
good.
time helps him out, but
Respect him. They're gonna get Markelle Fultz back soon, a fan favorite of mine. 2,
You just love former Sixers.
except Raul Neto.
Except
Or-
around that.
Nah, who do you like more, Ben Simmons or Raul Neto?
Trash versus garbage, man. I mean, number 2,
Hitler
I have.
versus Stalin.
Stop.
All right.
Number 2, I've got the Warriors. Cliche, but
Yeah,
They're good.
it is
So-
very
they're so
cliche.
basic.
I just put the Magic.
Are you gonna
on
wear
here.
Uggs and get a Starbucks drink on your way out too?
My birthday, by the way, folks. This is crazy.
Oh,
no
I'm
no
sorry.
respect. No
I'm
respect.
sorry. It just has to happen.
Also cliche, I guess. The Grizzlies. Obviously, Jaws
number
must
1?
see TV. Yep, I must see TV. Also a fan of Desmond Bain. Jaren Jackson, when he comes back, should be
Man, I
Trey
don't have-
J,
pretty good. But yeah, that's
Danny
all I've got.
Green, Santi
Sixers
Aldama.
legend.
Santi
Okay, man.
Aldama, one of my favorite players in the league. Good team.
I can't
Very
believe
good
you
team.
just said that.
Shout out,
Half the audience doesn't know who that is.
shout out Santi Aldama is a hooper, by the way.
Hey, I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying he's not known.
John Conchar, bro, they can hoop over there. I'll go 5
There
through
you go.
1. At number 5, I've got Oklahoma City. Big fan of Shea. I love
Commander.
Trey Mann. ISO Joe. First of all, ISO Joe, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Villanova legend, who Justin played 2K with and didn't even know it was Jeremiah Robinson Earl.
We played 2K together and I had no idea.
You
I had
you
no
tweeted
idea.
out, you put it on one of your Twitter accounts is like, who is this NBA player? And the name literally said JRE in it. I'm like, dude, you're such an idiot.
It just didn't come to my mind.
Not a
Villanova
ball
legend,
knower. Not a ball knower.
not a ball
Real.
knower.
right.
Aaron
Not-
Wiggins,
okay,
basketball
Tony.
fan.
Oh, Tony. You can't,
Aaron
you can't
Wiggins,
talk,
Josh
Tony.
Giddey. Good team. Good fun team. They suck, but they're fun. Speaking of Houston Rockets at number 4, Jalen Green, one of my favorite players. KPJ, obviously, love him as well. I like Alfred Şengün. Good team. They can be fun. Garrison Matthews is
There you
like a menace to society. And when he gets hot and he's like mean mugging the crowd is pretty funny. So I have the Rockets at 4. KPJ and Jalen Green are also on my fantasy team. So there's that. Number 3, I have the Knicks. Can you guess why I have the Knicks at number 3?
You said before we started recording, you can't guess why I picked the Knicks.
You've had an hour or two to think about it.
I wasn't thinking about it.
I really wasn't.
Why'd you pick the Knicks?
All right, the Knicks. No, I'm really not a big fan of RJ Barrett. I actually hate watching Julius Randle. Brunson's cool. I like Brunson.
Nova legend.
Nova legend, cool. Mitchell Robinson, all right. He's a bit frustrating at times. Mike Breen and Clyde Frazier on the call every single night. I watch Knicks games to listen to Mike Breen.
He is
That's a fact.
That's
the
respect.
best NBA commentator ever.
Not even close. The greatest of all time, Mike Breen. So I strictly watch Knicks games. I watched pretty much the entire Hawks and the Hornets and Knicks game 2 nights ago on my computer while the Sixers and Raptors were playing. Because I eventually after about 6 minutes of the Sixers game, I turned my computer volume higher than my TV so I could listen to Mike Breen. I didn't watch the game. I just listened to him. And Clyde Frazier, probably one of the best color commentators as well. Clyde Frazier got inducted into the Broadcasting Hall of Fame. So he's a Hall of Famer as a player and a broadcaster, first ever. Shout out. And 2, I have the Hawks. Obviously, very accessible team for me. I like DeJounte Murray. I love Trae Young's game. Fascinating to watch. I feel like if you like watching Steph Curry, you're gonna like Trae Young. John Collins, even though he has beef with Embiid, he makes cool dunks, like really cool dunks. And you're like, how did he do that? I mean, that's about it. Like, they're fun. DeJounte Murray's interesting to watch them play. At number 1, I have the Memphis Grizzlies because Ja is my favorite player in the league. And so is Santi Aldama, tied for first. I'm going to push the agenda. I'm pushing the Santi Aldama.
It's a nasty agenda to push.
That is not a nasty agenda. First of all, I do not want to hear Tony speak about nasty agendas. You made a YouTube video about how Ben Simmons is the most underrated player. I haven't heard the end of it. Yeah, and
I know you've seen the tweets, man. I deservedly that video every day.
I don't care about your tweets. You published a YouTube video of you speaking. You can delete it, but I'll have it MP4 on my file.
I have it. Some good numbers.
It had some good numbers. Yeah, like Ben Simmons videos is like if you want some good numbers, you're an NBA YouTuber.
Those in Lakers.
Just say something about Ben Simmons. Yeah,
or the Lakers
videos, right. Ben Simmons or Jade Springer out of nowhere. Like that's still the funniest video of all time.
All right, is it?
Grizzlies are on your list? Ja Morant. Shout out South Carolina, Ja legend.
All right,
J Dog.
I'm gonna go a little honorable mention to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Since you want to be extra,
they didn't make the top 5, so I had to give them a little mention. Number 5.
Can you elaborate, please?
I'm a big Shea fan.
Okay, no Isaiah Joe. Commander. Just no Isaiah Joe.
You wouldn't even let me finish my sentence.
No, you should have said Isaiah Joe first.
And when Chet plays next year, but that's not right now.
Okay.
At number 5, we're gonna go with the Orlando Magic. I'm a Paolo fan, obviously, because I'm a Duke fan, and Bol he's getting some real minutes,
bro. Bowl World.
Yeah, Bowl World has me.
Bowl World forever.
Bol is just he's fun. He's nothing else but fun.
I know I'm not supposed to let random people ruin my perspective with players, but it's happened to one person only.
Bowl block.
Come on, bro. Like, no.
Other than his fans, he is fun to watch.
Fans. His fans.
One fan. Yeah. Other than that, he's fun to watch. At number 4, I have the Memphis Grizzlies because who doesn't like to watch a little Ja Morant
and
throwing down some and that guy and Desmond Bane. Who doesn't like that?
Shorter's arms in the NBA.
Yeah.
Sniper though.
Sniper. He's a little 2K build.
And my number 3, neither of you had this on your list, but the New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh,
I thought of him.
Love to watch Zion ever since he was in high school.
South Carolina legend.
Ever since he was in high school, just one of the most fun players to watch besides Ja. At number 2, I have this team not because of the reason, or not because they're a fun team to watch, but because they are so bad that it's starting to become really fun to watch. And that is the Los Angeles Lakers, starting the season 0 for 4. And oh my God, this team is bad. I have nothing else to say except they're just so bad that they're fun to watch. And it's fun to watch them miss every single 3-pointer that they take. They have taken a crazy amount of 3-pointers. I don't have the exact number.
What was Pat Bev's comments after the game? He was like, "We shot 20% last game. We were 27% this game. We improved," or something. That was
I don't have the exact quote, but it was something about improving. But
producer Tony.
That team sucks. All right, Russ got to go. Sorry.
Hey, bro, calm
Russ
down.
Russ gotta go.
Respect for Russ. Respect.
If
for
they
Russ.
get rid of Russ,
I'm worried about
it's not
LeBron's
gonna get much
legacy.
better.
Russ got to go.
Nah, bro.
Number 1, I have the Utah Jazz, because who doesn't love to watch a group of young guys just have fun? Young, they're 4-1. They will outwork you in every aspect of the game. It's just fun. I've had a ton of fun to watching them. They're probably besides the Sixers, my most watched team.
I would put the Jazz, but I refrain myself from watching them a lot on their broadcasts. It's like, or just their home games in general. Their seats are so close to the court. They're literally on top. It's like the Citizens Bank Park of literal basketball, because they don't have a hockey team that plays in Salt Lake City, like in that arena. So the fans are so close, and I couldn't think of a more least deserving team to be that close to the court. So that's why I tend not to watch Jazz games, because I just get pissed off.
I especially watched that Jazz game against the Nuggets.
They watched
Colin Sexton absolutely just cooked Nikola Jokic, supposed to be the back-to-back MVP, getting cooked.
Respect Jokic, by the way.
And don't forget, he
last night.
Checked him afterwards.
Yeah, and Jokic with a dirty play just gave him
he did.
Shove.
He's dirty. He's dirty. He's dirty, but a good player. He's a good player.
Could you imagine if 21 in Philadelphia did that?
21 in
for his
Philly?
life.
Oh, bro, he would literally be crucified.
Thrown him in jail.
Remember when Embiid almost punched Lonzo Ball and didn't even hit him? And I was all over social media.
Yeah, he almost the thought entered his mind.
He didn't.
And he was getting cooked.
He didn't even hit him, and it was all over social media. But obviously, Jokic's dirty plays aren't in there. But
do you have the compilation of Jokic's dirty plays?
I do.
I think it's time we unveil the holy grail of Jokic's dirty play compilation.
I would have to find that.
You got to put it together. We got to add some, bro. I don't think that's been updated in a couple months. So you got to add the new ones, and then we got to put it on Scenes from the Spectrum Twitter. Which, if Tony, you can put the overlay on real quick. We can show you that Twitter is going to be down there somewhere.
SFTS podcast.
Just, you probably already follow us on Twitter, by the way.
Do you want me to find the video right now?
No, don't find it right now, because we're going to post it on Twitter later.
Yeah. All right. I think is that all we have for today?
Yeah. Can we show? Can you take the overlay off one more time?
Everybody who's watching, leave a comment and just say happy birthday, Tony.
Yeah, happy birthday, Tony. First of all, happy late birthday.
Oh,
okay. Let's not say happy
birthday.
Let's not say happy birthday, Tony, like you actually said it to him on his birthday, right? We already tweeted it out. I've retweeted it. All of us are retweeted. There's no excuse why you haven't said happy birthday to Tony, by the way. So you don't get the privilege of saying happy birthday. You have to say happy late birthday if you haven't done it already. And then I want to show, as we close, Ben Simmons airballing a layup one more time.
Make you pay all night. Durant, give and go. Simmons.
All
right, I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out all of our socials at SFTS Podcast and _ in the Instagram name. We are everywhere.
Yes.
Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast now. That's recently about a few weeks ago.
Are we on Audio Mac?
I don't know what that is.
Good. We don't want to be there.
But that's all we have for today. Thank you for listening to our angry rants. That's kind of what we've been doing the past 2 episodes. But make sure you tune in to our next week's episode. It'll be an absolute banger.
We promise spaces will come eventually.
Yes, we are very busy people. We have jobs, and,
The Phils.
and the Phillies, and we have school, so it's hard. It's hard to get together. But thank you guys for watching, and have a great rest of your day. And go Phillies and Birds.
Go Birds, go Phils.